Welcome back. The heat is on for firefighters as brush fires break out on the Suncoast.
And with the threat of afternoon storms and lightning strikes likely coming in June, Sarasota County is wrapping up its prescribed burn program. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo is here with more. And Dwayne, I understand the threat of fires is high right now.
Well, that's right, Scott. It was just yesterday a small brush fire broke out in the South Gulf Cove area of Port Charlotte, scorching 12 acres. Now, as a result, the Sarasota County Fire Department are engaging in prescribed burns and doing what they can to get a handle on dry brush. Sarasota County Fire Department burn supervisor Jay Bailey made sure the weather is just right for a prescribed burn.
We go in ahead of time and determine areas that are high fuel loading areas, and we burn them off. And we do it under strict parameters, weather parameters. We only do it when the weather is perfect and all those parameters are met.
The county has more than 80,000 acres to manage and burns off an average of 8,000 of those acres a year. And to do that, Bailey and his crew monitors the state's fire danger index.
And that is something we look at, every day.
Which, as of today, Pinellas, Lee, and Sarasota counties are a high probability for a potential fire.
The west coast of Florida is one of the higher fire instances in the state,
with lightning being one of the main reasons.
We get into the hotter time of the year, closer to summer, and it starts getting a little bit drier, a little bit lower relative humidity, and you start getting those thunderstorms from the lightning. And
this lightning, according to Bailey, is known to cause many brush fires.
When I speak of lightning, I speak of the lightning we get in the late spring, early summer. So when you get the sea breeze fronts colliding with land breeze, that's the ones that really start the fire.
And although lightning is one of the leading causes of brush fires, fire officials say residents should be aware, preventing other causes.
Well, people should always be careful. Make sure if you want to burn something, make sure it's authorized. Campfires, that kind of thing, you need to be careful with. Make sure they're out all the way.
In addition to prescribed burns, the county also uses another method for minimizing brush fires.
So we'll go in there with what's called a roller chopper or a mower. It's a big machine that we drag behind it and knocks the vegetation down to a little bit lower level. Now, it was back in April of 2001 where a prescribed burn got out of control in South Sarasota County. And fire officials say they've learned valuable lessons since then and believe the burns are essential to protecting the area from bigger, more dangerous fires. Back to you.
All right, Dwayne, thank you. A homeless camp in Sarasota is being blamed for starting a small brush fire this afternoon. It broke out around noon on near Beneva Road and Parkland Avenue. Sarasota County officials say people in the homeless camp were using gas cans to fuel a generator, and that sparked the fire. Crews were able to contain it before it spread to Oakwood Manor. That's a nearby mobile home park. One man received some minor injuries. He was treated at the scene. Police had to close a section of Beneva Road while firefighters put out that fire.
And I did notice that smell throughout the area this morning.
Yeah, and into the afternoon, too. I could see it, and it was a little bit hazy. I don't know if that was from the smoke or maybe just the weather conditions out there. Let's go to Bob for more.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's some smoke in the atmosphere as a result of a couple of controlled burns now, and you'll see that on the radar picture. The radar is able to detect the smoke plume from these fires, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. You can see one right here, well east of I-75, and another one down just to the southeast of that, and that trail that you see right there are controlled burns or agricultural burns, if you will. A couple of them there. Another one here just to the east of I-75 near State Road 64, and some up near Parrish too. And all that smoke with that east wind blowing it off toward the coast. So it may have been a little hazier today, a little smokier in the atmosphere as a direct result of these controlled burns and agricultural burns that are taking place across west central Florida. And this is the dry season. Typically we don't get a lot of activity, and that lightning that occurs typically comes with those afternoon and evening storms that develop in mid-June when our summer pattern starts. We may see some lightning strikes, though, as early as Friday afternoon. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. 3 people have been charged in connection to the toxic water crisis in Flint, Michigan. City employee Mike Glasgow and Stephen Bush, as well as Mike Prisby with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, all facing criminal charges in connection to the city's contaminated water. The water going to the city of Flint was not properly treated, and lead from the pipes contaminated the drinking supply. Glasgow was a former supervisor at the Flint water plant. Bush is currently on unpaid administrative leave with Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, and Prisby is still working there.
They failed in their responsibilities to protect the health and safety of families of Flint. They failed Michigan families. Indeed, they failed us all, and I don't care where you live.
The next step is usually a formal arraignment, but officials say they don't know when that would take place.
Now to the race for the White House. The presidential hopefuls are now focusing on the next states to hold primaries in less than a week. And frontrunners Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are looking to continue their fresh momentum following last night's big wins in New York. The presidential frontrunners celebrating huge victories in their home state. Donald Trump campaigning in Indianapolis after claiming nearly all of the GOP's 95 delegates in New York. On the Democrat side, Hillary Clinton winning the Empire State by double digits. She and husband Bill in Pennsylvania putting their focus on the next primaries.
I ask you to vote for her because she's got the best record, because she's the most qualified to be commander-in-chief, and she's the best single change maker I ever met.
Clinton's win striking a tough blow to Bernie Sanders. Though his senior advisor tells the Associated Press the campaign will now assess where they are after next week, Sanders vows to stay in the race.
Next week, we will be competing in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, and Delaware, and we look forward to winning a number of those states.
And despite coming in third behind Trump and John Kasich in New York, Ted Cruz insists he's in it for the long haul, too.
We are definitely headed to Cleveland. And in Cleveland, the people are going to prevail.
Trump is now calling on Cruz to drop out. The frontrunner now the only GOP candidate with a mathematical chance of clinching the Republican nomination before the convention.
Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan says he's not going to endorse Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. Representative Buchanan had put his support behind Jeb Bush for president, even hosting a fundraiser at his Longboat Key home last year for the former Florida governor. With Jeb out of the race, Buchanan isn't ready to back another candidate just yet.
I'm going to support our nominee. I think the process needs to play out. I believe in the primary process. As you know, Ray, I had 5 people in my when I ran as a primary. I think it's a healthy thing. Let's let this play out. It'll get decided at the convention.
Buchanan is up for election himself in the fall. If elected, it would be his 5th term in Congress. We'll have a full interview with Vern Buchanan tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
Andrew Jackson is getting booted from the front of the $20 bill, and Harriet Tubman will go in his place. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew said last year that he would feature a woman on a new version of the $10 bill besides Alexander Hamilton. Well, now sources say Hamilton will stay on the front of the $10 bill by himself. Instead, a montage of leaders from the women's suffrage movement will be added to the back of the 10. That redesigned $10 bill is expected to enter circulation by 2020. It will be the first U.S. bill to have a woman on it in more than 10 years. There's no word yet on when the new $20 bill with Tubman on it will go into circulation.
Students and staff members at Pineview School in Osprey are celebrating a huge honor. It's ranked the #1 high school in Florida. U.S. News and World Report's annual rankings show Pineview School as the best in the state and 7th nationwide. The ranking looked into which schools best served all of its students and which produced measurable academic outcomes. But despite this national recognition, Pineview principal Stephen Covert says it's important to stay focused on other things.
You never want to let that sort of accolade go to your head because it's all about what we can give back to our community. It's about preparing our students for success in college and their careers. And we really are preparing the leaders of tomorrow.
Another perk to this recognition, graduating Pineview seniors are excited to put these rankings on their resumes. Congratulations.
Certainly. Spring training is a big draw here on the Suncoast and apparently all over the state of Florida. In fact, a record number of people went out to the ballpark this year to see a spring training game. The average number of people who attended Major League Baseball spring training games, about 7,096. It's the first time that number has topped 7,000 in more than 100 years of Florida Grapefruit League games. Recent renovations to Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota and McKechnie Field in Bradenton have helped increase seating capacities and improve the fan experience. This year, more than 119,000 people went to Orioles games. The O's game against the Red Sox back on March 28th drew the largest crowd of the spring for Baltimore. And in Bradenton, more than 103,000 people attended the Pirates games and their biggest game, also against the Red Sox, on March 9th. Because Boston's a pretty good draw here.
I think so. A lot of those northeastern teams, people come out for that. So. Good news.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, genetically modified mosquitoes fly their way onto a Florida ballot.
How the trial run could impact the spread of the Zika virus and why some people in the Keys are actually against it. That's coming up next.
Express yourself in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus ES350 for only $299 or enjoy 0.9% APR. Just $299 exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
We also need tax reform. The tax code's 73,000 pages. We need to simplify the code. That's the biggest thing. And then ideally drop rates for small business and individuals.
Congressman Vern Buchanan is focusing on policy in the run-up to his re-election for Congress. We speak one-on-one with the representative. I'm Alan Cohn. We'll have that story, plus our roundtable discussion.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. ABC 7 is proud to present Line Dance Central. Now you can learn popular country and not-so-country line dances from the comfort of your own home. Just visit mysuncoast.com, click on Entertainment, and you'll be kicking up your boots or flip-flops in no time. Brought to you by the White Buffalo Saloon and Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Hey, Vanna, have you heard about the new Wheel of Fortune lottery game?
You bet. It's the ticket for some lucky lottery players to come here to Hollywood.
For a chance to participate in a private, non-broadcast taping of Wheel of Fortune with us.
Play the Florida Lottery game for a chance to win up to $250,000 instantly. And enter to win a VIP trip to Hollywood for a chance to win up to $1 million. Non-winning tickets only.
Play the new Wheel of Fortune game today.
Scratch, spin, and win.
It's Ram Truck Month, and that means big savings on some of America's best vehicles at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get America's best value, a new Grand Caravan for just $18,999 or a new Dodge Journey for just $17,999. Stop by today to shop the area's biggest selection of Ram trucks and save up to $8,000 on your new Ram. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Express yourself in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus IS 200T for only $299 or enjoy 0.9% APR. Just $299 exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
A private company wants to conduct a test release of genetically modified mosquitoes in an area of the Florida Keys to try and prevent the spread of the Zika virus.
But some residents are opposed to this trial run. ABC 7's Rebecca Vargas has the details.
At a recent meeting at Florida Keys Mosquito Control and Marathon, Keys residents voiced their concerns about the controversial proposal.
I pay taxes, I work here, I live here, I have the right to choose if I want to be this or not.
She's opposed to a new trial that would release millions of genetically modified male mosquitoes into neighborhoods in Key Haven to control the Aedes aegypti mosquito, the bug that carries dengue fever and the chikungunya and Zika viruses.
What we want to run this trial for is to be sure that we can control the mosquitoes down to a limit like has been done in other countries.
Phil Goodman is the chairman of the Florida Keys Mosquito Control Board.
The genetically modified male mates with the wild female, and the offspring does not develop into an adult. It dies before adulthood.
These genetically modified mosquitoes are made by British biotech company Oxitec. Last month, the FDA found that such a study would have no significant impact.
Follow me through here, please.
Pending final approval from the FDA, the mosquitoes would be reared in a small lab at Keys Mosquito Control before the release in Key Haven.
There's about 1,000 males per pot, and those males disappeared.
But some residents say they never signed up for an experiment in their own backyards. And Demir has a Change.org petition with more than 166,000 signatures.
Telling mosquito control and telling the FDA that we do not want to be a guinea pigs.
But proponents argue that the fear is misplaced.
I don't think people should be afraid of it. If anything, they should be should be more worried about things like dengue, Zika, and chikungunya.
For ABC 7, Rebecca Vargas, your Suncoast News.
Rebecca, thank you. The genetically modified mosquito issue will go before Key Haven residents for a vote in the August 30th primary. It will be a non-binding, but a majority of the commissioners say they will abide by the will of the voters. Now let's get a check on our weather again with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
A lot of times those mosquitoes, a big problem when rain comes, and it looks like we're going to get some of that on Friday. Showers and a few thunderstorms are possible, some of which could be strong. We'll talk more about that a little bit later coming up at 6 o'clock. But today, a little bit of a haze in the atmosphere due to some of the agricultural and controlled burns to our east. And with a east wind, it brought some of that smoke and haze off into the Gulf. But all in all, a pretty nice day. A few more clouds around, too. Let's not blame it all on the smoke, but we had a few more clouds around as a result of a little storm system now that is moving through parts of Louisiana. You can see that frontal boundary quite clearly slicing through Louisiana, and more flooding problems for those folks. We'll zero in on the heavy rainfall now just to the west, northwest of New Orleans and Jackson, Mississippi. This is all progressing to the east. They have been producing some hail and even an isolated tornado there just south of Interstate 10. Flood watch in effect for much of western portions of Louisiana tonight. Flood warning continues for parts of the Houston metropolitan area, and an aerial flood watch for parts of North Texas into southwest Oklahoma. So it's been a very wet week there, and more rain is on the way. For us, another nice day tomorrow. We can see some of that high-level cloudiness that has been streaming on by today out ahead of the actual storm system, which is still well to the west of us. At least at the surface, we have high pressure and control, keeping skies generally fair. 81 degrees. The dew point is at 58. Winds are out of the west at 16. The pressure 30.01 inches. And that is falling slightly. The high today, well, not as hot as it has been. Now, yesterday's high was 87, and the day before that, it got up to 88 degrees. So we're at 84, but still above average. 92, the record set in 1990. This morning's low was pretty much where it's supposed to be at 61 degrees. But with a lower humidity, it made it feel a little bit cooler out there this morning to start things off. We could use a little bit of rain. We're nearly an inch below average so far. Now, as far as temperatures go across the state, 77 in Miami, 77 in Jacksonville. It's 81 now into Sarasota. Temperatures around the coastline, right on the water, in the low 70s there. Upper 70s to low 80s inland. 80 degrees now in Arcadia, 81 in Punta Gorda. The wind flow out of the west with that sea breeze developing, but tonight it'll switch back to an easterly direction, and that means tomorrow's highs will be again into the low to mid 80s for the most part. A little sea breeze developing in the afternoon, and that could bring us an isolated shower late in the day. In fact, this particular forecast model is showing some isolated showers popping up along the sea breeze in the afternoon. Not much. A few spotty showers are possible, but that rain chance really into Thursday night and Friday morning. And you can see the storms approaching, a line of storms making its way through. In the afternoon on Friday, we'll have to keep an eye on those. There's a chance that could see some rough weather as they move through on Friday afternoon. The rain chance not all that high, though. 76 now, pretty nice in Columbus and Indianapolis. 74 Salt Lake City, 76 in Reno, Nevada, and temperature 71 in Dallas. Oklahoma City at 65. Hot 92 in Phoenix and 81 now in Atlanta. Well, for boaters, winds for the rest of the evening look like this. Winds out of the northeast, basically, actually turning later on to the northeast, and winds will be subsiding somewhat and then picking up tomorrow morning back to 15 knots. A water temperature now at 75 degrees, and the beaches tomorrow expected to see a high just like today, right around 79. 60 for tonight's low temperatures, very comfortable again. And then for tomorrow, look for mostly sunny, mild conditions, a few clouds, and an isolated shower possible in the afternoon, but most everywhere will stay dry. The extended forecast is calling for a 40% chance for showers and storms on Friday. And then Saturday looks good. We'll see a few clouds in the morning, becoming mostly sunny in the afternoon. Sunday, a little bit warmer and more sunshine in the offing. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. No accidents or problems, and I-75 is moving smoothly in both the north and southbound lanes.
The biggest U.S. health insurer, United Healthcare, says it plans to exit most of the Obamacare state exchanges where it currently operates. This could be a big blow to President Obama and his signature law to overhaul the nation's healthcare system. United Healthcare has already indicated it would drop plan coverages in Arkansas, Georgia, and Michigan. Now, its CEO says they will remain in only a handful of states by next year. United Healthcare previously said it lost $475 million on the exchanges last year and could lose another $500 million this year.
You might not have to wait quite so long at the checkout for your new chip-enabled card to process. Visa has upgraded its software so that the new cards will only need about 2 seconds to register. Previously, customers had to leave them in the reader while the transaction went through, which took about 20 seconds. Walmart is also making some changes to trim some time for customers. Employees will no longer ask customers to confirm the amount of the transaction, which will then save about 11 seconds. So if you're really worried about this, 11 seconds, I know we're all in a rush, but 11 seconds.
I like the safety of those new
yeah,
cards.
it's nice.
It's like an extra layer. So.
Makes you at least feel better.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's working. Entertainment news is next.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Roku. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.
It's a mortgage sale. For a limited time at Trustco Bank, no application fee. Stop in any branch today. Save even more with low closing costs. See why your neighbors choose Trustco Bank. Visit TrustcoBank.com for details.
Your hometown bank, Trustco.
Equal housing lender.
At Sunset Subaru, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at the new redesigned Sunset Subaru dealership in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dotoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
At Devasta, our communities are built around great expectations. Yours. From home designs inspired by our homeowners, to personalized options that embrace your lifestyle, to resort-style amenities, an unwavering commitment to quality is what separates us from the rest. Welcome to Devasta. Join us Saturday, April 23rd from 1 to 3 for an Amenity Center showcase. Explore our resort amenity center and decorated models. Visit Devasta.com for details.
Sunset Fiat is Italian style. Sunset Fiat is fashion forward. Come see the all-new Fiat collection at Sunset Fiat with new 2015 Fiat 500s priced from $12,999. Sunset Fiat is cool and sexy with freedom to move and room to evolve. Visit Sunset Fiat in Sarasota or shop online at fiatusaofsarasota.com.
We'll learn more about a film shoot on the Suncoast that involves Burt Reynolds next week.
Southeastern Guide Dogs will hold a press conference with cast members, including Reynolds, next Wednesday. The film is titled Then There Was a Light. It's about a teenage girl who loses her vision from an equestrian accident. Reynolds will portray a service animal trainer who helps the girl by pairing her with a seeing eye miniature horse. Some scenes will be shot on the Southeastern Guide Dogs campus in Palmetto. Filming may begin as soon as next week.
Prepare for MTV The Movie. James Ponsoldt, the filmmaker behind The Spectacular Now and The End of the Tour, is set to write, direct, and produce a feature based on the book I Want My MTV, the uncensored story of the music video revolution. It'll cover the founding and first decade of the cable channel, which became the voice and emblem of a new generation, influencing everything from fashion to politics. And bad news for ZZ Top fans. The rock band's upcoming concert at the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall in Sarasota has been postponed. The band's bassist, Dusty Hill, fractured his shoulder at the Lone Star Events Center in Lubbock, Texas. He's undergone treatment, but ZZ Top's concert dates on the current tour have been postponed through May 7th. The band was supposed to make its Sarasota debut on April 27th. The rescheduled date has not yet been determined.
Prince George gets a boost for a new British stamp set. The toddler prince is pictured alongside his father, Prince William, grandfather, Prince Charles, and great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. The adults are sitting down, of course, but a smiling George is standing on top of 4 foam blocks secured with tape so that he can be right about the same height as the others. The stamps are being issued to mark the Queen's 90th birthday, which is tomorrow. Very cute. Jennifer Aniston says she was very, very flattered to earn the title of the most beautiful woman in the world from People magazine. The 47-year-old actress is no stranger to being praised for her looks. She is, after all, the woman behind the 90s sensation Rachel haircut. Aniston has kept busy since her days as one of the Friends. She's starring in a new comedy called Mother's Day, which opens next Friday. She's one of those people who really doesn't age and always looks great and is always in shape, and she just has that, you know, glow about her.
And her hair always.
And her hair,
perfect,
everyone, you know, everything she has so many product lines that a couple that she endorses, and I understand why, because you're thinking she has great skin, great hair. Okay, I want that too.
People magazine recognizing
recognizing that as well. We'll be right back.
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. Introducing ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community. With a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
It's been an exciting season for the West Coast Black Theater Troupe, and it's not over yet. I'm Linda Carson. On Suncoast View Thursday, Artistic Director Nate Jacobs gives us a preview of the upcoming shows, plus a new sketch comedy group is forming, and we've got a special performance. The Tampa Bay Bloody Mary Festival will share a few cocktails. Join us.
Tomorrow at 4 on ABC7 Suncoast View. Smart, fun talk that's everything Suncoast.